can you guys see this? You can all see this, right? Oh yeah, you can see this, right? Somebody say yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, they consumed more alcohol in the 19th century. They consumed more alcohol than we did in the 20th century. They actually consumed quite a bit of alcohol. This is from a movie called Cat Ballou that came out in 1965, and the actor is Lee Marvin. And it's a funny scene, and it really embodies how people who were drunk could get on a horse. And you guys saw me on a horse. And if you were drunk in the 19th century, you could get on your horse and sort of aim your horse home, and your horse would take you home, right? You can see that, right? Now, what happened is we moved into the 20th century and we started driving cars, okay? This is a fatal accident. Somebody was killed, and it was a car accident. And this was because of a drunk driver. So as Americans started driving cars, do you see how much more dangerous it was to be drunk and to find your way going home? This is the 19th century, and this is the 20th century. Can you understand how alcohol would have been something you would not have been as inclined to embrace in the 20th century as the 19th century? Because we're driving cars, right? You guys get that. Everybody gets that, right? Let's take a look at the numbers, okay? So here we have 1982. 21,000 are killed. And by the way, it was a lot higher than that. When I was your age, we didn't have seat belts. People got in cars and they got drunk. And let's all chat about this together. I got the chat going so I can chat with everybody. Why did the death rate fall from DUIs? Because there are actually a lot of reasons. There's a number of reasons why the death rate fell for DUIs. And it's basically half as much. Now, wouldn't you guys think that it would go up? And I'm going to argue that it should logically have gone up. It should have gone up because aren't people driving more miles? And aren't there more people driving? So the population increased quite a bit, and people are driving more. So if their population increased and they're driving more, the death rate should have increased, not decreased. And I say death rate, it's the absolute number of deaths. It's not a death rate, the absolute number of deaths. If the population's increasing and people are driving more deaths between 1982 and 2018, there should be more deaths, not less. Why did they drop? Illegal. Court says it was illegal. Okay, well, first of all, court, part of it is that it became less socially acceptable. And part of it is they started putting people in jail for the first offense. For the first offense of DUI, you'd have to spend at least 24 hours in jail. So yes, it became more illegal. The punishment became greater. And so that was part of it, but it was probably a small part. What are other reasons? Put on your thinking caps and tell me, what are other reasons? I'm going to go back, okay? This is the 19th century right here. You get on a horse. You don't have to worry about killing anybody. Now we get cars, and so we start drinking less. And yet here we come up to this period of time, 1982 to 2018, a pretty good long period of time. We're talking about almost 50 years here, 45 years. Why did? I don't know where the crash is. There's a limit on alcohol. Okay, you guys, I really wanted you guys to tell me. Okay, several reasons. One, it became less socially acceptable to drink and drive. But weren't the cars safer to drive? Between 1982 and 2018, they required seat belts, right? And the cars were much safer to drive. A car today can go through a crash, and the outcome of a car crash today is not going to be as devastating to the people in the car as it was back in 1983. Do you guys get that? There's other reasons I'm going to talk about. There's one really obvious reason when you think about it. Why is drunk driving in 2020 much less of an excuse than it might have been in 1983?
Because a lot of people do it.
Why is it much less of an excuse? It has to do with this. Okay, I'm going to hold this up. Why does this make it less of an excuse to get drunk and drive?
Because people use their phones now when they're in the car.
No. What am I going to use my phone? If I'm drunk and I want to get home, or I want to go to a friend's house and I'm drunk, don't I have options I didn't have in 1983? What?
They call somebody.
What are you going to do with your phone, ladies and gentlemen? You guys are old enough to know that. Aren't you going to call? Don't you all have Uber on your phone?
Yeah.
Do you all have Uber, by the way? Yes or no? Type in and tell me if you guys have Uber on your phone. No, you don't have Uber. Well, you know what Uber is. Okay, so you guys don't have Uber. That's fine. You're going to have Uber soon. Do you think the number of drunk driving incidents has really dropped in the United States because of Uber? People don't have an excuse. If you're drunk, you have an option other than getting in your car and driving home or driving to a friend's or whatever. You have options available. You can call Uber. So we really don't have much of an excuse to drunk drive. And because of that, wouldn't it seem that the car death rate is going to drop? So between people, like you guys all wear seatbelts, right? You all always wear seatbelts. You would not feel safe in a car. You would not feel comfortable in a car without a seatbelt. Don't you all wear seatbelts? Type in yes or no. Do you wear seatbelts? Give me thumbs up or thumbs down. Go to reaction. Give me thumbs up or thumbs down on reaction. Do you wear seatbelts? Okay, and it would also be safe to say that you would not feel comfortable not driving a seatbelt. In and of itself, that would cause the death rate of DUIs to drop a lot. Just that. But then when you add to the fact that people, when they're drunk, take Uber, and people will take Uber to a bar and then they'll take Uber back from a bar. So people, and you know what I think, I just share this thought with you. Haven't we gone full circle when it comes to getting drunk? Before in the 19th century, people would get drunk and get on the horse and the horse would take them home. Aren't we moving into an age where we're going to have self-driving cars and people are going to drink and fall into their car drunk and the car will drive them home? And isn't it an interesting thought that that's going to be very similar to getting on a horse drunk? And what I would predict is that we actually are going to have more problems with alcohol rather than less. That the fact that we were driving cars that would become dangerous weapons in the hands of a drunk driver, people aren't going to have reasons not to get drunk. A lot of people limit their consumption of alcohol because they don't want to be busted drunk driving. And when we all have self-driving cars, are we going to consume a lot more alcohol? And I'll tell you that on the days when you could just climb on a horse drunk, we consumed a lot more alcohol. And frankly, I don't know the answer to this. Maybe you guys, I won't be around to answer the question probably. You guys will. But is the alcohol going to become a lot more of a problem when everybody has self-driving cars? I'm just asking. I'm asking. I don't know the answer. But it's an interesting question, isn't it? Okay, we're going to go now in 2 minutes. Okay, I'm going to stop share and talk. So what did you guys think of this discussion on crime?
It was good.
Do you think that's an interesting thing to think about, getting on a horse drunk and getting in a self-driving car drunk? Do you see the similarities?
Yeah.
Huh?
Uh-huh.
So maybe alcohol will become more of a problem. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But it's an interesting question to ask. Have you guys enjoyed today? I want
Yeah.
you guys to step up, and for the most part, you're doing it. And I really want you to become more than you would normally be, in the same way other generations have become more than they would normally be in the face of this pandemic, and help us out, help your parents out, help your teachers out, help your administrators out, okay? Help all of us out. Put your shoulder to the plow with all of us, and let's fight this together. Okay? Fair enough? God bless you all. Thank you. Bye. Oh, one more thing before we go.